Bronny can go in front of ESPN.
Nigga, my mama gonna go to board, nigga. I don't give a fuck how old she is or how old I am. So if I got a pops, that nigga don't do this. Well, he better do this.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But now we're opening the door for all of these parents to start coming out and protecting their kids.
If you think that's bad, wait till you see Shedeur.
Right, it's about to get
Dion already doing that.
We all saw what we saw, and you know what we saw.
That's elementary school.
No.
That's all
When you a teammate, he push him like, man, like, let's go. He push him like,
Get off of me.
Get off me.
No, don't touch me.
Was it worth the 30,000? Now?
In the moment.
In the moment.
Use up.
You remember? Was it bingo night or was it? 44. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But I'm gonna keep it high level, and this is gonna just give you the beats. And I give you my opinion at the end on all of these topics. But what's going on, the core issue, is the carriage rights fee.
First of all, start off the right way. Exactly. Let me start out like this. This is why I'm broke and you got money. This whole Dak Prescott saga.
What are those? On the field, I got metric after metric. He's a winner. Okay, he's number one in all categories for the Dallas Cowboys first 5 seasons. Off the field, unquestionable character. Like, the only thing you got on Dak Prescott is, I am undisputed.
Oh, come on. And me playing basketball, and I just want to line up.
He's getting up.
And show, yeah, we doing this for real.
He's funny.
Somebody gonna rebound? Shoot.
This one?
Cut that up, baby. This boy, it's wet time. That's what I do.
I still don't know why this is a pick, except exceptional play by the defender. Look at that. 2 dudes reaching, and then he comes between them and say, let me split this bunk bed. And I'm out of here. Shotgun snap, slips. Oh, that's something. Sack on your first play ever in the NFL. Y'all know your nightmares came true. You're like, God dang. Oh, yeah, this ain't it. Look at this blitz right here.
I mean, he only knows so much what he's reading off stats, off paper. I mean, everything's good on paper. But I would always love to hear from a player because they play the game.
What about a journalist? Like, being real, NARPs are journalists. Like, you're from that pool, right? So imagine somebody just said, you didn't play the game. I don't want to hear it.
She would have a living room full of people at about 10 p.m. probably every other Friday or Saturday. Come up here and I already know what they want, and I got to sing whatever song I got.
Did you say song. Sing, not rap? You said sing, huh?
Sing. Yeah, they ain't trying to hear no rap. They ain't trying to hear no rap. Yeah.
Well, you think you can do something with that? Hey man, Michael Jordan too light in the tail. Okay, you know what? Big dog? Yes. I ain't light in the tail. If you want some of this, let's go one-on-one right now. Let's get
Everyone's playing the hits, but I'm a DJ. And one thing I know from my DJing experience is that you don't just play the hits. You play things that people haven't found out about yet. Discovery. Not up to me. I don't have this ego where I'm a buck, talk trash, and be like, yo, I don't like this. I'm gonna be like this. All right, I got enough talent. I got enough belief in me. I know what I want to do. Yep, let me go do it. Boy. Wake y'all asses up. What's cracking? Oh, man, love in these streets. I think we got started a few minutes later than normal. I changed up the routine last night. I usually sleep with my boy, MJ. You guys got to do some research on the studies that they have with parents that sleep with their kids and how it calms the nervous system of not only the kids as they're going through their identity cycle, but you as parents as well. So a lot of y'all have a nightcap, have you a little mixer, a little vodka. Just go to bed with your kids. It actually calms you down. It's really great. I slept with my mom until I was 13. Then one day she said, boy, if you don't get your big ass up out of here, puberty hit, and I start going up in terms of height. She was like, this bed ain't big enough for the both of us. My daddy, he actually enjoyed that as well. Get up out of here, boy, so I can see your mama. So love to you guys. That's what happened. Slept with my boy like normal. Then went and cuddled with the wife. Really cuddled. Nothing profane, just cuddled. and I cuddled a little longer, right? So all good. So we here now. Who's in the chat? What's cracking like a Megan? Shout out to you, Danny Fan, always in the building. SCG Publishing. Let's go, Wiley. Let's go. Curtis McBride, 8702 is talking about it's 8 a.m. on the East Coast. Go to bed, Wiley, yo, son. I'm out here on the bricks, B. Yeah, I mean, and it's like, yo, way mad early, son. Yo, what you doing, B? Y'all crack me up, as we crack y'all up, too, because here on the West Coast, we sound a little different. You know what I mean, homie? For real, though. I ain't even tripping out. Love it too much, man. Let's get into it. We got a lot of topics. Y'all know us. On this show, we're going to do sports. We're going to do sports media. We're going to get a little sociology in here, a little gender, a little race, a little identity. You know how it goes. We always going to keep it cracking. So first, let's pay some respect. God dang it. Who saw this headline coming? Not me. Damn. Retired. Terence Crawford, 5-time division champion, has announced his retirement from the sport at age 38 with a perfect record of 42 and donut. Bud walks away as the only fighter to win a ring title in, what Kobe do? 4 separate weight classes. Respect to that man right there. Who saw that coming? For real. Who had that on the bingo card yesterday? Terence Crawford was going to retire. Not me. So let's show him a little love. Let's give it to him.
I used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champion.
I told me we wouldn't be.
How'd that make you feel? It filled me with rage.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Couldn't whoop him.
You went out on the street and offered $10, anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah, kids in the neighborhood.
What did he tell you then?
He told your mom, I told you I'm the best.
All right, I don't know if Kanye needs some extra money, so we know what the song is. Get at you, get at you, get at you, get at you. God dang, ain't that crazy? Blah, blah, blah. Shout out to a living legend. Much respect to Bud Crawford. I met him one time, really close with Wild Card Boxing. I used to train there, actually. So Freddie Roach and I shared the same agent, made that connection. So I used to go up in there and train. My fat ass need to go back. But the point is, yo, boxing, I don't care what sport you play. You go to boxing training to get in shape. You could be in the NBA. You could be a point guard in the NBA and be out of shape for boxing. Boxing is insane. And I never wanted to spar. I never wanted to get hit. I'm retired from the NFL. Dog, I'm good. I'm no punk. I don't need to prove I can fight. I don't have to prove how tough I am. I do not want this happening to me at the age of 37 after I played 25 years of football. So I just went in there for the cardio. Shout out to Ernie. Shout out to Freddie Roach. All the guys. I got to meet Manny Pacquiao, train with Triple G. Crazy, right? Bud was in there. I mean, Bud was around. I met him through them one time. He wasn't in there. And just love, just love, just love. And I say all that to say I don't believe 1 ounce of this. He ain't retiring. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm going to tell you why I don't believe it. It's like when Too Short said he was retiring. That was 20 albums ago that Too Short said, this is my last album, y'all. He not retiring. What he's doing is obviously resetting our thirst for him and his craft. Because ain't nobody else really out there to fight. So if you go out there and what is it, a rematch? Okay, we're going to fight Canelo again. The same Canelo that always struggles with quick boxers that have a high IQ. Floyd Mayweather, Bud. You know what I mean? Like, we know he going to beat Canelo again. Even if Canelo says, okay, I'm going to eat all the meat. Remember he ate the meat and got strong in the steroids? I'm going to eat all the meat. You can do whatever you want. Pause. That's a bad pause. Do all you want, Canelo. Ain't nobody really thinking you're going to beat him. So there's really no upside. He beats Canelo again. Okay, I get paid. So what you do is you hit the hard reset. This is just my thought, my conjecture. Him and his team said, retire. You don't did it all. Make people say you gone. No, and then sooner than later, we're going to start hearing, we won't Bud, because we're going to see everybody else out there. And look, there's still tremendous fighters out there, but the point is, ain't no Bud Crawford. And unless somebody either A, pop their head up, build themselves up to be a true contender, B, let us reimagine who Canelo is or really forget that he struggles against fast, high IQ boxers. And then we're like, Canelo can beat him now. Remember? That's what happened with Floyd. Floyd caught Canelo early, and then we was like, oh, I thought Canelo was supposed to be supposed to be next, this young sensation. And then he won. Then he went and built himself up. Then we was like, okay, he ready now. Go fight Bud. Oh, damn. He the same dude. So if you're his team, you're smart. And this is the real reason why he's coming back. There are exhibition bouts out there where these cats are making $20, $50, $100 million. Exhibition. Like Jake Paul about to fight Joshua Smith, right? Anthony Joshua. Good Lord, Joshua Smith. That's a safety from the Steelers. Remember that when Tom Brady was like, shut up, punk? Ooh, that was a good moment. Anyway, they gonna fight. The networks are into it. The media is into it. The streaming networks are into it. Netflix is now into it. Paramount, everybody's into all of this combat sports. Boxing, Zuffa boxing. So the money, wherever it is right now, is going that way. It's rising. He's gonna let that money just keep going. What did he just make, 50 million? Come on, he good right now. He like, I'm Gucci. 50 million, I ain't gonna pay you WBC, funk y'all. I ain't giving y'all money. $300,000 to wear your belt. Shut up, I ain't wearing nothing, I retired. So he's gonna come back. I don't know when, it depends on what the ass down. You ain't gonna do shit, you better clean this house. What? I am such a corny nerd parent, and I wanna do this topic, Michelle Obama talked about it. How we now, as parents, this generation, we want to make our kids happy, and we feel guilty if they're not successful. Like, we doing everything. We doing too much. We dropping our kids. Remember, we were the kids that got dropped off to practice. Remember? That was us. If you got dropped off, take the bus. You know where it's at. The park ain't going nowhere. Take the bus. Take the 108. Go ahead. Then we become the parents now that not only do we take our kids to practice, we actually stay and watch. What? We some cornbreads. So that's where the game is right now. It's crazy. Beat it up in the comments. His mama, I give you $10, baby. Go whoop his ass and knock that dream out his head. I'm glad he won on the streets, mama. Because if not, you wouldn't be having that Fendi girl. Respect. I don't know if his mom's still alive or not, but they put in the video, so I'm just saying that. All right. I do not want to have a problem of anybody in this world. I'm more scared of Bud Crawford than any King Kong. You want to know why? Because if I fight King Kong, I'm going to lose. If I see Bud Crawford, if I see somebody that's, 5'8", 170, 160, I'm supposed to beat him up. That is a kicker. That's an extra point holder, the dude that holds the ball. I'm supposed to whoop his ass. I can't get a blow on Bud Crawford. I fought this guy that was in the training room at Wild Card Boxing. It was a 60, 70-year-old. They call him Triple OG. Triple OG was there. He's like, Wiley, you ain't sparred with nobody. You soft, you all that. I said, I don't care about all them words. He's like, all right, forget that. I ain't gonna challenge you. Let's just have some fun. I won't hit you, but I'll show you I could have hit you. So he was like, slap box. I said, all right, let's slap box. Shit. I was like, he was like, I didn't touch him once. And he was like, tat, 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 tat. Like, goddamn, how old are you? He's like 72. No. Love from, all right, bro, blah, blah, blah. We all in the comments talking that. I'm too old to fight anyone. Either I lose and get hurt or I win and go to jail. Not worth it. Say it, the BENC. I'm the same way. If you walk up on me on the streets, trust me, you have met the biggest punk you ever saw. I don't care. What's up, Wiley? I hate what you said about my homie. Why you always talking about Ryan Clark? Why you always talking about Stephen A. Smith? Why you always talking about ESPN? Why you always talking about why you always talking about the Detroit Lions? I hate you. Hey, dog, you hungry? You want to get something? Hey, you a punk. Mm-hmm. I don't care, dog. I'm trying to take MJ to practice and stay there. So you think I give a damn about that? All right, so don't come up to me barking because it ain't going to work. But, CP3, he went barking. And it didn't work as well. So they kind of giving us a summary of what happened there because there's still a lot of question marks. Let's go.
Thank you so much for joining us here because I think one question that has sort of continued to come up, at least for me, Danny, and around the league since this happened is what?
Was this so bad that it had to be handled this way?
Yeah.
Was it that bad?
Look, I wasn't in the locker room, okay? I talked to everybody in and around this, so my answer would be no, that there were so many other ways you could have done this. Could you have come up with, hey, it's not working out, let's send you home to rehab and injuries, be away from the team for a couple weeks until the trade deadline? There's so many other ways they could have done that. Even somebody who doesn't like Chris Paul said to me, I don't even like Chris Paul, but he's not a G leaguer. You don't send him home in the middle of the night like that. And I think that's the takeaway that most people have. But the other issue is this was hard from the start. They had him in there as somebody to be a veteran leader at the end of the bench with little maintenance. And things were going well at first, and then they started losing. They didn't win a game for 2 weeks.
And one of those instances that you detail in this piece that sort of illustrates the what wasn't going well was Chris Paul's relationship with Jeff Van Gundy in one story in particular.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. You're Chris Paul. You've never had a coach's decision not DNP your whole life. So the first game you have a coach's decision is this game against Phoenix, and this is
Former team.
Former team, okay? Knows these guys very well. They had just lost to Phoenix, and he's sitting on the bench, and Van Gundy hadn't spoken to him in a couple days. He's very tense, and at some point, they're shoulder to shoulder. So this man that, it's probably embarrassing to be DNP CD'd, and it's uncomfortable. And he kind of leans over to Jeff Van Gundy and says, "What's up, coach? I noticed you haven't talked to me in a couple days." And Van Gundy did not take that well at all. I mean, you can imagine he's trolling him. He's questioning the earnestness of that. I think he said something I can't say on TV at that point. It was a little harsh. And from that point on, things really got uncomfortable between those two. But also Ty Lue was saying, "What happened between you and Van Gundy?" There was meeting after meeting after meeting. Like, honestly, it was exhausting to me to report on this. I can't imagine living through this. And if you're the Clippers and this is a guy that you brought in to be a leader on your team and he's trying to leave, but you don't want to hear it, it's a lot of drama for the guy who's supposed to be the 12th man on your team.
This was incredibly detailed. It was incredibly well reported. For me, a couple of takeaways here, right? It's the relationship that disintegrated there. It's Chris Paul doing essentially what we've come to know Chris Paul to do and what the Clippers know well and brought them in for, but the continuous sort of conversation that didn't go well. I did find it really interesting, though, Ramona, that Chris Paul has not heard from Steve Ballmer.
Yeah.
He has not heard from Jeff Van Gundy. He has not heard from Ty Lue ever since this sort of fizzled out, even after he apologized.
Yeah, the last conversation, I think, between Ballmer, from what I've heard, is Chris tried to give him a heads up that he was going to announce his retirement. They didn't end up connecting before Chris announced his retirement. Then afterwards, they talked a little bit, and that's really the last substantive conversation. And I think for a guy that was the best player in your franchise history, who, in that meeting with Lawrence Frank, when he says, "We've already made the decision, we're sending you home," Lawrence Frank even said, "Hey, we want to work with you on how we release this. We still want to retire your jersey one day."
Come on.
I don't know. That's not going to happen. Yeah. And there's a fun little irony. Chris right now is trying to stay ready. He's working out at the old Clippers facility in Playa Vista, which is now being operated by the Players Association. They have a gym in New York. They have a gym in LA. So, he gets a call from Blake Griffin. They hadn't talked in years. Now those three are on the DeAndre Jordan on the FaceTime. It took all of this to get them back on the phone and that old era of Clipper basketball. Now Chris is back at the old facility.
And just for some context, to have a transaction or at least a decision be made like this and not hear from the management, I've never heard of a circumstance like that, like no communication, one. Two, I thought it was interesting when you wrote, if all they wanted was a cheerleader, why did they sign Chris Paul? I mean, they had him before, they knew what he was like.
And honestly, everyone in the building admits to that. They say, we should have known that wasn't going to work. We wanted it to work. They had good intentions. It just didn't. And I think the fact that they came in thinking they were going to be great this year.
And also, you mentioned the 2-week span where they lost a lot of games, but now we're talking about bigger than 2 weeks. They're about to play someone who just won a championship, OKC. And so you start thinking about the ties and the decisions. Where do you think the Clippers, at least brass, where do they stand right now?
I think they still want to be competitive. This is a team that they're not ready to trade everybody. They're not ready to blow this up. They want to be competitive. There's a lot of games left. They seem to be getting closer last night notwithstanding, but I think their defense has been better. But I'll say this, the last word, like this is just me having reported on this for a couple weeks. My therapist once told me, when you offer your opinion without being asked, people see it as judgment. And I think that's really where everybody came down.
Blah, blah, blah. She got her money's worth with that therapist. When you offer your opinion when people don't ask, they take it as judgment. Yes, they do. And I know one thing that I heard from a therapist as well, which actually goes to this is the same conversation, which is advice is something that you already know, but somebody else is going to tell you. So it doesn't hit any different. It doesn't hit any better when you got somebody like Chris Paul, and we all know, even if you don't know Chris Paul, even if you've never met the man, you just watched him play, you know he barks, right? I love looking at life and people and their behavior like dogs, because there's so many different types of dogs, species of dog, right? You like, oh, the little ones, like the little, like Missy, the one that bit me. I got this little scar still here, like 7 years old, little dog right my neighbor. And I was like, all you do is bark. Shut up, Missy. Got me. I was like, oh, you bite too, right? Those type. And Chris Paul's the type that barks and bites, right? He can ball, he's future Hall of Famer, but he also, and you got some teammates that you gotta wake them up. You're like, dog, are you into this? Yeah, you see, I just scored 38 points. Tim Duncan, like, Duncan, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm good, dog. Like, it's different ends of the spectrum in terms of personality. The thing that really, my biggest takeaway, and I could dive a little deeper into it, my biggest takeaway, because there's all type of dogs, right? Like, what is Tim Duncan as a dog? Like what's that middle size, like, or bigger kind of lazy dog, right? Just be chilling. I don't have dogs. I'm a cat. I love cats. I'm a cat lover. But point being, Chris Paul's a little poodle, right? right? And then you got those, like, what are they, Labradors or something? Anyway, you got all types of dogs. However, if you know dogs, and I do know dogs, I just like cats more, there's a certain point when you're playing with a dog and you messing with the dog that you can actually pin the dog. You ever done this? You playing with the dog and the dog is like thinking he winning. You're like, nah, I got you. And then they always say, don't break the dog. Because there's a certain point where the dog look at you like, I can't move. And they go like this. You broke him. Now he gonna recover. But right there, he like, yo, you ever heard that? They like, damn it, you got me. Because he's a dog. Do not take me to that place where all of a sudden you ain't gonna let me be a dog. You ain't gonna let the dog. They tried to get there with Chris Paul. They knew what type of dog he was and then they realized they couldn't make him go. Middle of the night, guess what we gonna do? Embarrass your ass. That's sad, because this is my team, this is my squad. Y'all know I rock with Chris Paul, I rock with the Clippers all day, in day. But they embarrassed this man, and that's on purpose. I don't want to hear all these like, oh, well, this miscommunication and this disconnect and we ain't talking, we are talking. I don't even want to say the names because I like all the people involved. But they try to embarrass him. Not let him go, but let him go in an embarrassing way. And what is embarrass? Bare-ass. That means bare ass. That means we gonna put you out there in them streets, in the media, headlines, naked. We gonna undress your ass. That's cold. That's cold. Because Chris Paul's done too much for this franchise, and frankly, this franchise is better than that. So how did we get here is the real question, right? To embarrass him like that. My therapist, since Ramona want to talk about therapists, I got a therapist too. I ain't seen him in a while, but my therapist told me one time, he was like, notice in relationships, and when you're in them, the things you do wrong, how you do them. Notice in relationships when they end, how they end. Because people will tell you exactly what they're really feeling beyond that they want it to end by how they do it, right? You cheated. Okay. Now, did you cheat with her best friend in your bedroom? Or did you just go somewhere? You went to Colombia. You're a passport bro. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? I'm not trying to justify anything. They're all bad. I'm trying to show you it's bad to get cut, but it's worse to get cut at midnight or 3 in the morning. And it's worse to get cut when you get cut at midnight, 3 in the morning on the road. And it's worse to get cut 3 o'clock in the morning on the road, and then nobody upstairs wants to talk to you except the guy who cut you, the Grim Reaper, Lawrence Frank. Where Balmer at? Where the Balmer at? You know, my jersey's supposed to be up there. We ain't talk. We ain't talking. Look, there's culpability. There's issues all around to pass around. Chris Paul, as Chris Paul is, you know, he a dog. That dog is a poodle gonna be a poodle. You can't take a poodle to a library and then say, shh. It's like, why do you do it? I bark, baby. I bark. Let this dog. Chris Paul was still gonna be Chris Paul. I don't care what team you bring him to. You bring him to a team with an older Harden, an older Kawhi, who already set in their ways, and more importantly, like, dog, you ain't Chris Paul no more, like, on the court. And I always tell y'all, we measure you based on the currency on the court. We base it on how much you can compete. Your currency, how much money you got, how much human capital you got in this locker room. This locker room is based on how much grind and how much get you got. There are very few exceptions where we will allow you, we give you a pass. We give you some food stamps. Udonis Haslem comes to mind. Like, it's very few times we just gonna let you chill and you ain't doing nothing. But if you ain't doing nothing, you, no. Coaches don't even like it, like Van Gundy and them. And we know Van Gundy will fight. Y'all remember him fighting players and jumping on their legs and all that stuff? It just was a bad situation that just got worse real fast because there's a lot of dogs in that room. A lot of dogs. And some dogs, like Kawhi's a Rottweiler, right? He ain't getting up for everything. He just sitting there on the floor looking. And then y'all all running around, he's stepping over him. He's just like, mess around and find out. Right, step on his paw. Be somebody he doesn't recognize. Okay? That's how the game goes. That's how the game goes. So beat it up in the comments. Let's talk about it. As a head coach, you're supposed to have those uncomfortable conversations with your players. Ty Lue is not a good head coach. Okay, DB2, P6N, I hear you. That is your role. But coaching is morphed from that position a long time ago because as a coach now, you're an ambassador more than anything. You're a delegator more than anything. You don't stick your neck out for stuff anymore. You don't step in it anymore. You know why? Because there's so much pressure on you to win, right? So when something is going wrong, all you're trying to do is get back to that course of winning. You ain't PR no more. You ain't HR no more. That's old school coaches used to do it all. Phil Jackson handing out books and stuff. No. Now, we going this way. If you ain't going this way, you ain't here. Now, you let some subordinates go get him right. Get him on board. Because everything goes to Ty Lue. And Ty Lue, like, look, I'm not putting out fires of a guy who's in his last year who's not acclimating well here. We already knew what we were getting. Now we got it. Now what do you want me to do? Stop the bum rush? We are 6-20. I ain't got time for your little pity pats. Your little spats. I know it sounds like I'm absolving him of responsibility. I'm just telling you the responsibility has changed. I wish I would have a fight with my teammate or fight with one of my coaches and then I go to the head coach. First of all, you ain't going to the head coach. Head coach like, what? Man, go to the flagpole and fight it out. Shut up. What are you doing in here? We got bigger fish to fry. So that's real. I just see it different. I just see it different. All right, tell me how y'all see this. I want to know what y'all thinking right now because let's have some fun. Let's just go through this real quick. The 2025 Awfulies are here. That basically means this website that I totally use for a lot of my content. Best studio shows, hosts, and analysts of 2025. So if you don't like the topics that I choose, blame them because a lot of the topics come from them because they curate sports media. Respect to them. I like it. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's go fast. We ain't got to go through all them words. You know us. We speed read. We look for quotes or big headlines. Best studio show inside the NBA. Do y'all agree? Beat it up in the comments. What's the competition? Best studio show. Well, what's the competition? The one that they just hijacked, which was the NBA countdown at ESPN. All right, they tried theirs. That's the competition. What else is out there? I can't even think of what. I guess they could go other sports. You could say the NFL countdown Monday night. Nah, nothing mess with that. Let's not take time. Let's not waste time to just fill time, right? We know that's the best studio show. Best studio host, Ernie Johnson. Yeah, let me think. Yep, Scott Van Pelt doesn't count because he's like not really doing a studio show. Let's get to the harder category, shall we? All right, the Barkley Best Studio. Damn, they named it after Barkley because I guess they don't want to give it to him every year. So they're like, look, your name's in it. Best Studio Analyst, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Interesting. Okay, so they took obviously Barkley from consideration. Fitzpatrick. What do y'all think about that? On that set. Yeah, is Fitzpatrick the best? Even on Thursday Night Football, we got Whitworth, we got Sherman. Gonzalez, okay, got that. What about Kenny Smith? He's Kenny Smith. Fitzpatrick got Kenny Smith. He got Shaq. Really? That's what we doing here? Damn, how many studio shows are there? Only 2 or 3? I guess they don't count Ryan Clark in them because they do it before, but they should, maybe. Swagoo and all them. No. Look at me. If I say one more time, beat me up. Best talent acquisition, Peter Schrager. After that rough start, after he got race baited. Let me stop. Remember that, him and Ryan Clark. Now, that wasn't even race bait. What did Ryan Clark do? He undressed him. He said, oh, yeah, you don't know about the player's perspective. I have never seen a man more hurt psychologically, emotionally than that moment. I literally almost cried for Peter Schrager because I know how hard he works, how hard he worked to get to that position, to be at the big seat, big table with the big dogs. And then he got little dogged. He literally, I mean, go back and watch that video, and he was like, Ryan, don't do that. Like, it's almost like you took somebody's baseball cards when they were 21, after they collected them all their life, and they finally get to the big leagues. They're like, I'm about to show y'all, look at this big-ass book. And you just say, give me that book, punk. It was crazy. That was wild. That was wrong. Okay, best sports debate show, PTI. Okay, let's go here. All right. Are y'all watching PTI still? And to that degree, I'm not saying you ain't. I'm just saying, are you? Because First Take is number one in the mornings, their competition. Because it's almost like PTI has become classical music, where you got to say it to sound smart. What's the best sports debate show? PTI, of course. Is it? I don't know anybody that I hang with, maybe because I'm younger, that's walking around like, man, did you hear what they said on PTI? Like, I've never heard that. It's always y'all talking about First Take. I'm listening to y'all. I don't go to the barbershop, but when I drive by, I hear y'all. Y'all be like, oh man, First Take, all that stuff. So tell me, I don't know. But Around the Horn is gone. That's cold-blooded. Why'd Around the Horn go? It wasn't because of ratings only. Ratings were pretty good. Cocaína. I got that liquida. I got that liquida, the cocaína, the bucaca. You know what, though? I have vocal cord surgery, so my voice easily compromised. Easily. Whether it's sometimes I feel a little under the weather, or I got a game to coach and I start telling them kids, sit down, run, come on. You know, I lose it. And I'm too damn energetic, so I'm always hype. What's the best debate personality? Nick Wright. Hard to argue. I told you I love me some Nick Wright. Cam Newton could have been here, but I don't know if he has enough debate. Like, he's on First Take, once, twice a week? But this is 5 days a week, and Nick Wright to me is the best of all of them right now. Y'all agree? I mean, Stephen A is the greatest, and McAfee doesn't count because he's not a debater. He's a discusser, but best discuss personality. But Nick Wright, yeah, I feel that. Man, I do have a megaphone. The BNC, you said I'm too old to yell, needs a megaphone. I do have a megaphone. Oh, I got to tell y'all a story. So that's the end of that. Blah, blah, blah. Good. So I'm looking in the comments. Wiley is too old to yell, needs a megaphone now. The BNC. I do have a megaphone. Let me tell you this quick story before we get to our next topic. And our next topic, oh my God. It's going to be Elle Duncan leaving ESPN and talking really about ESPN in some ways that I don't think a lot of people understand or get. So we'll get to that real quick. Here we go. I have a megaphone, and I keep it low on purpose because I know how annoying it is. A big old dude that's a coach already yelling, and now he has a megaphone. Don't yell into a megaphone, then it's just too much. So I kept it super low. And then one time, see, one thing I've noticed coaching kids is the resistance I get from certain parents. Whether they think that, since I played that I know it all, I'm acting like I know it all. And I'm like, I've never talked to you, ma'am. I don't play your son at point guard because he can't dribble. So you think I should play him because he can't dribble. How else will he learn? In practice, at home, with your ass. Go around the living room, dribble. I don't care if it's carpet, dribble. Don't try and come to the game and be like, he doesn't know how to do that, so when is he going to learn? You got him for 23 hours every day. I get him for 1. Don't be blaming me. They get mad at me because I say I know one road that works. The road I took and everything I saw on it, I know it works. Look at me, Exhibit A. Okay, it works. Now, you may have a different road, but that may be with a different coach. Don't come up in here like that. Anyway, so they think I'm entitled sometimes because I say things, and I really, like, when you're talking to kids, don't give them options. Don't give the kids options. Oh, what do you want for dinner? Do you want Chick-fil-A? Do you want candy? Or do you want steak and potatoes and some broccoli? Chick-fil-A! No, we can't go to Chick-fil-A, it's closed. Candy! Don't give them options. You tell them what you're going to give them, right? So anyway, I have my megaphone because I lose my voice so fast. That's the only reason. I ain't trying to show out. But I guess when you used to be in the NFL and, you know, you're sitting there and your team is winning championships, you can't have a megaphone too. My megaphone lower than my voice, but it protects my voice. One, they start complaining. Next thing I know, the league told me I couldn't have my megaphone. And you know what I told them? Okay, that's fine. Just lose my voice more. Simple as that. I don't fight. I don't fight. It's no need to fight. I get it. I know who you are, and I talk to you. And when they come up to me, boy, I'll be checking their ass. It's so fun. All right, let's get into this. What's Elle Duncan talking about? Let's hear it.
To so many people here.
I am so overwhelmed by that, and I absolutely love you, Kevin. And yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is my last Sports Center. Should I look at camera 3? Okay. Which is still wild to say that. I do have a lot of thoughts, and I imagine that a weepy social post is coming. But before I leave this desk, there is something that I want to say.
Here we go.
I see the headlines about ESPN. Some are earned, some I believe are not. And anyone in this chair knows that criticism is just a part of the job, and you take it. But the faces of this place are not the soul of this place. The soul is the thousands of people who work here. No spotlight and still all the scrutiny. People from every background, with every kind of belief, and from every zip code. There is no hidden agenda here, folks. Just maybe the same one that most of you have there at home, to put food on the table, maybe to send your kids to college, do some work that matters, build a life. ESPN is not some nameless monolith. It runs on individuals. Directors who keep you in frame, the producers that we just showed who steer the ship, editors who save your butt, I see you, Patrick, and the staffers who turn a 3-ring circus into a symphony. They're the heartbeat of this place, and I hope that you will try to see them. And to you, my colleagues and peers, I want to say this directly.
Uh-oh.
You're good. You're doing great.
Yeah, let it go, girl.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the send-off. Thank you for the hallway smiles, for the late nights, researching, for the very early mornings, for saying my name in rooms that I was not in, for trusting me to toe the line and knowing when not to, for pushing me, holding me accountable, making this place feel as close to home as not home can be. You made this last decade a gift, Kevin. You made these last 4-5 years an absolute joy. This is a little girl's dream fully realized, and I am so humbled and I am so grateful to you, and I love you, and I mean this sincerely and from the bottom of my heart. If the Bulldogs and the Broncos both win titles this year, I'm breaking into this bitch, and I'm talking more trash than you can possibly imagine.
By the way, you mentioned this being a home.
Oh, look at that. Who that?
And by the way, it's this young man's birthday.
Hi, baby.
Xander, happy birthday.
It's my son's birthday. Oh my God, are y'all serious right now? I'm doing it for them, you guys.
Oh, that's dope.
You've been my family, but this is my family.
Oh, that's dope. Give a love.
And go Dogs. Thank you, Ken.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's great. I love that. Love that family. Look at that dynamic. Look at that's good. I know where y'all want to go. We go get there. Damn, can y'all pay some respect? Some pleasantries first? Man, good looking dude. I like Pops. Good looking dude. I see you, Elle. Elle didn't take no L when she got that family. She didn't take no L when she got that dude. You know that dude was out there winning. Got that nice fade with that little salt and pepper. Get some. And she going to Netflix, so she got to be coming out here to L.A. Respect. Okay. She said a couple things I do want to talk about and articulate. She said that ESPN doesn't have any hidden agendas. And I know what y'all think. That is a total crock of shit. That is some BS. And I'm here to tell you, from my experience, 11 years working at ESPN, I agree. They don't have any hidden agendas. See, this is the thing about a big corporation like that. Like, people always think that they find a way to get into one room and twirl on their mustache and curl their eyebrows and just be like, oh, we got them. Like, we're going exactly. We got them all locked in. We got them all on the ship. Now let's sail away to where we want to go. Our destination, our agenda. It doesn't work that way for real. Now, this is how it gets that way and how you perceive it that way. It's because they know who they're hiring, right? It ain't like, they know who they're. I always ask, why Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith not on the same show? You know why. Not just politics. It's not that. You know why. So this is how hidden agendas make you think, oh, that's what's happening. They have a hidden agenda. Never forget that incentives shape behavior. So if there is a man with a long mustache twirling it and curling up his eyebrows and saying, I'm going to lead him to where I want to go, our place, right? You know how he does it? Through rewards, through simple promotion and rewards, right? He don't tell you what to say. He listens to what you said. And then he's like, I like that. Why do I like that? Because you got to remember, this is mass media. This is McDonald's. What did Joe Rogan say? McDonald's makes 6.5 million hamburgers a day. Now ask yourself this. Have you ever seen a McDonald's farm? Have you ever seen any farm in America, let alone the world, big enough with that many cows ready to be slaughtered to make 6.5 million burgers a day at one spot, one place? I ain't even talking about Wendy's, Burger King, Shake Shack, In-N-Out. Now, In-N-Out, we heard, I think y'all down in Texas and y'all drive, right? Point being, where are all these burgers coming from? Mm-hmm. So I get it. Some things are manufactured in your head. Some things are real, right? But I think what she said about hidden agendas, I really think that is manufactured. I hate to say it, in the audience's head. Because when I worked there, they never, when I say ever said, hey, this is what they do. And Max Kellerman even talked about it. What they do in sports, and sometimes the topics are political, right? Especially with like 2016, 2022, that world, pandemic, COVID, George Floyd, Colin Kaepernick, what else? You know, that time. Like every topic, you come in, what do you think? And they listen to you and they listen to you. And they say, y'all agree or y'all disagree. Where you disagree, authentically, we're going to have those as topics. Where you guys agree, but you agree for different reasons, we're going to have those as topics as well. Where you agree, we may have one topic. That's just the formula. But they didn't say at night, they didn't text you, hey, you watching the game? Yeah, you better love them Jets tomorrow. See you. Bye-bye. They don't do that with emoji. They don't do that. And if it's political, they don't do that either. They just don't incentivize it when they hear it. Ask Will Kane. But they do incentivize it when they hear it. Ask Pat McAfee. You see what I'm saying? So for everything you think, everything you're thinking, just know, is it landing in perception or is it landing in reality? Now, some people think they're the same. Okay, let's get into this. ESPN wanted to also open up China as a market. That's why you never hear anyone on ESPN say a negative word about China or anyone from China. The BNC. Why I keep reading yours? You got some good comments today. How you not the top three, one of the top three chats right now? You're doing great, brother. Well, one, let's be real. Let's be real. How entertaining or interesting is it to talk about China on ESPN? Be real. Like sometimes you can let your conspiracy theories, your hatred or your despise of ESPN, or you just don't like their politics. Sometimes you can go too far. I don't give a damn what my politics are. I don't want to hear about China on ESPN. I really don't. Like, I don't want to hear, LeBron and his shoes and his connection and all that. Okay, maybe on Vice. I do a documentary. Okay, I'm not saying ignore the story, but just, I'm at a barbecue, dog. You know what I mean? This ain't the time for meatloaf. And meatloaf is good to some people. Yeah, Wednesday night meatloaf. Yeah, we at home, baby. Oh, yeah, it's cold outside. Make some of that meatloaf. But on a Saturday, when they playing lighter shade of brown, it gotta be a Sunday. It's a Sunday afternoon. We just chew. And they playing that. You got Impalas hitting switches, girls in sundresses, and you show up with meatloaf? I don't want to hear it. Miss me, man. Damn, miss me. Some places, it's time and place, okay? So anyway, speaking of time and place, speaking of ESPN, speaking of all the things we talked about, this show, see, our show is gangster. On this show, we go there, and we going here. Cam Newton and Jemele Hill sitting down. Y'all know where it's going. Yep, it went there.
I don't know if you've thought about this, but you know you're in a rare space in the sense like they're not, and I'm thinking off the top of my head right now, so if this is wrong, I think you're the only black quarterback that's on television on a major network. Like, I don't know if you...
Like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go. Let's have some fun. Okay, now, on surface, you hear that? Obviously, that's said to not only spark curiosity, but to trigger. Like, are you? You are, right? Now, we know there are others. Y'all beat it up in the comments, the other ones that exist in that space, right? But I did a little second brain research, And Second Brain showed me that there's Cam Newton. There was a Mike Vick, but Mike Vick chose to opt out and coach, right? RG3, obviously, even growing in his role, but it's not debate. I know it's not platform, but he's on TV. But RG3 being a commentator who's now doing the pro game coming up, not just the college football games. McNabb used to be there, but currently she's right. I can't think of anybody else. I know back in my days and some between there, Cordell Stewart, Charlie Batch, Sean King, shout out to the homies. Now, different positions, of course. But I don't know what we call this type of conversation. I don't know what you call this summation. But this summation is slanted. Because you got to think, first of all, where are we starting from, the top or the bottom? Point being, there are only so few jobs. So few jobs. So few that we don't even want a kicker or a punter. McAfee got told no by ESPN. Why? You're a punter. Oh, okay. Well, I got some money. I'll start my own thing. Oops. Now you need me, right? But how many punters were there? How many white punters were on ESPN? Discrimination? Because there's this lace of discrimination. They were like, nope, we don't want any white punters. Right? You had one kicker doing some CBS like sideline, Jay Feeler. Right? Jay Feely. Feeler went to Ivy League. That's it. So if you start at the top, how many players are we talking about? How many players even want to do? We start at the top. How many players in the NFL? We're talking about NFL shows, I guess, right? Then how many players? So 2,000 NFL players. How many players even qualified to be on TV, which means you had a good career or great career? We down, right? Then, how many are articulate and desire to do it? I said articulate first, because some of y'all don't qualify. You can't put the words together. Your subject ain't going with your predicate. I don't know where they went. They broke up. Okay? For real. There are dummies. I hate when people, it's okay. There are smart people where there's dummies. If you can't accept the opposite, you can't accept the contrary, then you just not living in reality. This is a relative world. There's rich, there's poor. I've been both. You got to be it. You accept it. There's some people who ain't got it. And then of those people, we're down here already. How many of them want it? See, this is the thing where the culture comes in. In the black culture, there was a long time and period where that line wasn't that long. Yes, there were people in the line, but it wasn't as long as the white line. Oh, I remember that when I was a player. Cats be on the bubble, meaning you about to retire or get cut or it ain't gonna work out for long. White player be like this. All right, about to do an internship. You're like, all right, I'm about to start coaching. Where you going? I'm gonna be a GA at Illinois State. What? Brother like, psh, man, I'm about to go work out, get this thing. Then he finds out he cut. He try again. That's the culture. Thoughts, beliefs, right? The black player belief system in general was to keep trying, ball till you fall. The white players' belief system in general was ball till it looked like, I don't know about that future. Now let's go get the next one set up. Now it's changed. The line is longer for black, etc. But we down to here. Articulate, wanted, qualified, good career. Now, look at the depth chart. Kickers and quarterbacks have the fewest participants, right? Fewest number of people on the team. We got a bunch of tackles, offensive tackles. We got a bunch of guards. We got a bunch of linemen, bunch of centers. We got 2 centers. We got guards that can play center if he get hurt and he get hurt. Like, there's 10 O-linemen. There's 2 quarterbacks, maybe 3, unless you're in Cleveland. They got 7, right? You know what I mean? So look at what we've done. We funneled it to a point where, and then we're down to the position on the field that they're the fewest of. Then we're going to take that and take it to another level. Now, how many of them qualify, were good enough, blah, 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 blah. We do the same thing again. And then you're left with, now, how many of them are black? Well, that short-ass line we got. Now we got half the league starting as black, right? So this is a whole different conversation than the racism or discrimination of the black quarterback, because that's behind us. That's gone. Black quarterbacks making more money than the white quarterback. White quarterback's like, hey, y'all, you remember how we used to have it? All that money was coming to us. God dang. Even though the best mobile quarterback, 2.0 quarterback, is white. So that's why you shouldn't race bait or go down this identity politics. You mean we went from traditional quarterbacks that were mostly white that all got paid to now we got a 2.0 quarterback and now half the league is black at quarterback. But now the best of all of those mobile quarterbacks is a white guy, Josh Allen. It's crazy. Anyway, love Lamar Jackson. Don't do that. We talked about this yesterday. Here's the thing. You went and funneled and then funneled again. You cut the coke that many times to get, I don't know, I haven't thought about this. It's off the top of my dome. Y'all know Jemele, my homie, so she gonna get, we. The more I love you, the more I, where are the other black quarterbacks? So we know Dak Prescott, if he wants to, can get a job yesterday. Not even today, not even tomorrow, yesterday, right? Who else? Who else want it? Who else gonna do it? I think a lot of times when I read about present day, listen to me, present day observation of discrimination, people factor in all of the great elements, all of the great attributes and components, all the smart things. People do great analysis, statistics, data on all of that. And the one thing that they usually forget or underestimate is desire. You can't legislate desire. It's very difficult to measure desire. It's one of the grandest intangible there is. Excuse me. It's one of the grandest there is. Ask Tom Brady. If you want it, you're going to go get it because you won't take no for an answer. And you're going to get what you give because you give what you got. Right? And it just turns into that ecosystem. What you got, you give it, you get back what you gave, you get more. Then it goes up and it goes up. That's called confidence. That's called conditioning. That's called socialization. That's called how you grow to become exactly who you want to be. You make your dreams a reality. So I didn't like that whole conversation, but Cam Newton did. And Cam Newton is talking about it. Cam Newton said, look, I'll give you the quote. We ain't got to go too far into it. I'm going to work my ass off to ensure more black quarterbacks get jobs in sports media. I would want the narrative to be we need to go get somebody like Cam Newton. We kind of know what he means by that, right? Be an inspiration, right? Be a role model. Make kids want to do what Cam does. I think that's everybody's goal in this world, no matter what the conversation is. Hey, if I'm doing it, I want somebody to look and be inspired by what I'm doing, right? Simple as that. So respect. All right, what else we got out here? Let me see in these comment sections. Comment section, beat it up in the comments. Somebody said, Jude said, my husband just walked by and smiled. Keep it up, MW. I don't know what happened, but okay, I will. He smiled at what we doing. Oh, okay, what's up? What up, Jude husband? What up, homie? What's up, big dog? He like, man, I'm just chilling. She over here watching you. Over there on that screen sweating. Let me stop. Love for y'all. People are talking some crazy stuff. They saying that Shedeur is sweating because he ain't with his daddy no more. What's cracking?
He's always had his daddy by his side. He's always had them crutches. Now you got to get rid of them crutches. We've always talked about the on the field, Shedeur Sanders is great, Shedeur Sanders is great. Sure. What about the emotional component? The fact that he said this, one, I applaud his vulnerability, I applaud his transparency, and his humanity. That's human. But at the end of the day, the NFL, and watch what I'm about to say here, T, you can co-sign it, the NFL is an inhumane league. We've just never had to see Shedeur succeed without his people.
Do you think he can succeed without his father?
I don't want to answer that question.
Not answer it. No. That means no. If you want to answer the question, that means no.
I believe he can.
Based on what data? We have
you know what I'm basing it off of?
Based on what?
You can say, I don't know.
You see how bad Colorado is without him?
That just means Colorado can succeed without Shedeur. But we don't know if Shedeur can succeed without his dad.
But if he was that good in Colorado can barely win a game now.
He's always...
There's some food for thought. Because I never looked at a father-son relationship in any capacity as crutches. Man, that's gangster. Let's show some respect to what Acho said. I don't know why this is really that layer that you want to discuss about Shedeur in terms of his ups and downs in the NFL based on, well, you always had your dad. Whitlock goes here a lot, and I disagree with that as well. When he's like, well, your daddy's always coached you, so you don't know how to compete. No, two things I know how to compete It just so happens that my dad was the coach. And it just so happens that even if I did have to compete, I would have still won the competition. First of all, we all know that these quarterbacks, especially quarterback, because there ain't no backups playing, ain't no second quarterback on the field, they're not going anywhere where they got to really compete. If you're a good quarterback or great quarterback, as Shedeur was in high school and college, you are not going somewhere where, oh my God, there's 4 or 5 stars here. I wonder who has the better arm. Let's find out. No, you're not doing that. Man, you over there making sure that that's flat road in front of you. Of course. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. This is a conversation I have with a lot of parents. Because a lot of parents have a kid that's really good, and the first thing they think about is what? They want him to play up. And I'm like, look, there's always a confidence versus competition conversation. CCC. I'm telling y'all, I'm one of the best coaches ever for 10 and under. It's always a conversation. Confidence versus competition. So if your son plays up, he's going to enhance the competition. But what is it going to do to the confidence? Because your son going to start getting beat up. Do you know that if your son is 9 years old and then all of a sudden he wants to play 10, that's like 10% of his life almost. You got somebody who's been on this planet 10% longer than you. Think about it. That ain't fair. If you get your level of son who's so good, he's going to go up. And then when he goes up, he typically won't see this kid, but that kid exists. That is that level good at 10. And your son was that level good at 9, he about to wear your son out. Just simple as that. Okay? That's how the game goes. So there's this competition confidence conversation you got to respect. Going up, better competition may not help the confidence of your kid. Remember, you're running a marathon in one lane. People get lost all the time thinking in sports, I'm running against you. No, you ain't. That's why there are late bloomers that all of a sudden make it. And then there are also man-childs, that 9-year-old that was insane who didn't make it because he was a man-child. He's 5'5" and he's 9. You like, oh, he gonna be 7 feet, he gonna be Wimby, he gonna be. Holla at me when he's 18. He's 6'1". Okay? I've seen it. So the point is confidence, competition, I should say. Acho is basically saying, look, he had a lot of confidence playing with his daddy. Now, he didn't have so much of that competition. Because if you stay down, that's what happens typically. Oh, you just taking advantage of all these other kids your age. You just better than them. But look what it's doing to your confidence. Forget the competition. I'm competing against myself. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. So it's, to me, totally unfair to put Shedeur's path and then say it gets undermined or hijacked because he's no longer with his dad as the coach. All his dad made sure, being real, is you starting and we're going to make this system about you. Every coach is going to make the system about what their quarterback can do. So let's take that off the table. Deion didn't do anything special there. And he didn't do anything special saying my son is going to be the starter because every quarterback worth their weight in salt is going to go somewhere where they're the starter. Now, the only thing that Acho may be talking about, and maybe it's there in a different clip, is all of the outside ancillary things that come with the life of being an NFL player, right? When you're not on the field, right? All that stuff, you ain't got daddy around. Now, that's where I can see, okay, that's different. But that doesn't matter, really. Like, you be who you want to be. I just saw a video of Deion going to Shedeur's house for the first time. But this whole, like, the ups and downs, and I can hear all the whataboutisms that's coming my way. I can see it. What about Archie Manning and Peyton Manning? Like, it's crazy. Dog. Because people think there's favor. When you're the coach of your son, typically that relationship is harsher, right? It's actually tougher on the kid, tougher. Y'all dynamic is tougher because you're wearing a different hat, you're wearing more hats. Then it's easier. It's harder because it's like, dog, daddy, chill. I don't need to hear that right now. Oh, I forgot. You're in coach mode all the time. Your kid is sitting there. I had this conversation with my wife, and it was very insulting. When I was listening to myself talk, I know, even before I was going to speak to her, I said, baby, this is going to sound bad. But I'm coaching our daughters in basketball, just like I did with my son. My wife used to play college basketball, but I already signed up. I was already it. She doesn't have the time. Like me, I'm always there. She had to miss something, this and that. So I was like, I'll be a coach, even though you know way more basketball. But this was insulting. So she was like, so when I can show up, I'll be your assistant. I said, nah. One, I don't want commitment to look like that to these kids. Like, is that our coach or not? Because she ain't here all the time. But more than that, I said, I want our daughters to still have a parent. Because I may be in coach mode. And I'm answering questions. She's like, Daddy, when we go home, can we watch Nikki and Vlad? And I'm like, no. We're going to go outside. We're going to run that box zone. She's like, what? So, protect the kids, right? Acho should have answered that. I don't know. Acho, we doing podcasts now, baby. Answer that damn question. Or like TJ said, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking he can't. Who asked the question? You can't succeed without your daddy there? Really? What kind of punk you think my daddy raised? You kidding me? Not even. Oh, let's beat it up in the comments and then let's talk. Let's listen to somebody who ain't a punk. My dogs. These are two dudes I love. All right, let's get into it. Let's see. Facts. Yeah, DB2. I'm speaking them facts. I know it. Somebody, Brandon Alexander says, I had said this about Shedeur when he was drafted. Deion coached his son his whole life. Maybe he knows he isn't that good and just wanted him to get opportunities. That's how y'all read that? Y'all wrong. Y'all mean. I mean, he was a 3-4 star in high school. He balled out in college. His son wasn't good enough. Come on, y'all. I coach my son right now, and I'm going to do it all the way to high school at the most. High school, then you got real coaches out there. You know, you got Derek Fisher at Crespi right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he has a Crespi, he ends up at Crespi High School playing basketball. I think D-Fish got it. You know what I mean? We got my man John Willingham. We got my man at Sierra Canyon. He got a sick program. Let him go. No? But I dare you, whoever wrote that comment, I dare you. I coach my son right now. I dare you to go see my son play some ball and say, yeah. I wonder if he was that good. Respectfully, my son can ball. I'm coaching him too. I ain't protecting him. Trust me. Oh, he mess up, he jog, he getting fire like everybody else. For real. Now let's see who needs some fire up their butt. It sounds like the Dallas Cowboys. Pause.
So there's a reason there's a 44-year-old being called up to play when we have zero farm league system anymore, which used to be college football development of players who used to be backups in the NFL that we can put right in and have been there a few years, i.e. Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre. We now get drafted, Sean, and they have to play right now. All these guys, you got to play. I don't know if we've lost the development part of this league. We're in a bad spot, and I think Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are basically the poster child of that because you're overpaid under-deliverers. They have 5 players, Sean, that are in the top 5 of their respective positions on the pay scale.
Would you clean house?
Let's say you got everybody else. You keep Dak Prescott. Aren't you doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result? You can't get two more, like, much better wideouts than they have. You got upcoming back, I think. Williams, kid. I think he does great. Your O-line's not as good as you're accustomed to in Dallas. Your defense is horrific, Sean. This is the worst defense I've seen Cowboy team in a long time. Your back row can't guard nobody. You can't get a pass rush. And since they got Quentin Williams, they've been better. And you could still argue they won that trade. But here we go. Now Micah gets hurt in Green Bay, and now people are going to say, well, Dallas did get lucky and won the trade. Well, yeah, but you're also not a playoff team. Green Bay is. So there's a huge issue in the roster, in my opinion. But if you can't make layups as a quarterback at $60 million, Sean, I don't know where you go.
Blah, blah, blah. Shout out to Sean Salisbury. Respect the homie forever. And Coach JB Compton's in the house. Y'all know how it goes. Love for those guys for breaking that down. Real quick summary of what they're saying and kind of one more layer to it is we are losing. And we are losing that whole developmental process. That's the biggest takeaway for me. Not the Dallas Cowboys. I hope they make it to the playoffs. Whatever you want to say about the Cowboys, if they are in a high-stakes game, the ratings ain't lying. We all are in. We are all into that if the Cowboys are in that game. Come on, it's just the way it goes, right? So I'm hoping that they can get in because that's just going to light up the playoffs and ignite it. Now, the thing about the development that's so tough right now is that you can see that players are not growing, maturing like they used to. Like you could see it before your eyes back in the days when I played older times. But what happened, and I remember when it happened, it's when practice became performance. Practice used to be practice. What can't you do? Let's start there. I can't make a left-hand layup. Well, guess what? 100 left-hand layups. What else can't you do? Well, I'm not so good with my killer crossover. All right, well, your crossover ain't killing nobody. Work on it. Now, I'm using basketball right now. Let's go to football. What can't you do? Okay? Well, I need to work on my rip move. Okay, let's rip. But when practice became performance, then the coach, you know why? Because the coaches were starting to get graded. You better win now. You don't have 3 years. You don't have 5 years. When they shrunk it from, we hire a coach and he lives out his whole contract, 5 years to 3 years to 2 years, like we can fire you the first year. When that happens, guess what? Those incentives shape your behavior. Next thing you know, you looking at the players like, I need it now. And then that changed what the practice looked like at the lower levels. In college, I need it now. I can't lose 3 games in the SEC. I'm out of here. So practice became performance. And I remember when it happened, because I used to go to practice and I had this kind of like, this exhale. Because I was like, good, I get to work on some stuff. I was in the game, this fool was just grabbing me in the chest. He kept getting my chest plate. Like I got to work on getting them in hands. Like So to bring it to the Dallas Cowboys, look, it's unfair what they're doing to Dak. It's unfair, all that conversation. Dak is damn good. Dak's better than your quarterback because most of the league he's better than. Not all, but most, okay? Dak's top 10 easy. Stop playing with me. And you know when they say somebody top 10, that means they 10. But the point is he's still top 10. Respect Dak Prescott. Facts Only says Cowboys offense is good, defense is ass. Yeah. Let's go Dominic D'Angelo. Never thought of that parent-coach dynamic. He's still on that Deion topic. And I want to give shout out to Anwar Hall, who says Deion didn't let Shedeur play in the SWAC championship game because he was late for a team meeting. Deion teaching discipline. Yeah. Come on, y'all. I hate when people come up to me and got those assumptions, too. Are you coaching your son? Oh. I'm like, all right, you better watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me? They are comparing Phillip Rivers and Colin Kaepernick, the homies. Let's see what they say. Let's go.
To choose from. Forget Kaepernick. As Cam said, there are better options, whether you're out of the league or in the league. There were better options than Phillip Rivers. I almost feel like they did it for the headlines, okay? Now, back to Kaepernick. I might feel as strongly as you do. I'm with you. I still watch football. You know, I stop for a second. I still watch. I also don't hold the position that you have. What Kaepernick did in standing up in the way that he did was absolutely incredible and amazing. And most NFL athletes, most people, period, did not and would not have the courage to do that. He was colluded against. He sued and won. I think I would feel different for you if that didn't happen. I understand this is a man who still wants to play. We've had this argument before on the podcast. They colluded. He proved it. He won. I have asked the question. I don't understand why he wants to play in a league where he's proven this has happened and has acknowledged that it was a form of slavery.
Bored.
We don't have to get back into that.
I'm so bored with that, man.
Well, I'm bored with
boring.
I'm bored. Wait, let me finish because I listened to you rant about something that I could care less about. I'm bored by that. And I still allowed you to feel the way that you did. I allowed you to express that. My thing with the Kaepernick is I acknowledge what he did. I believe in it. I support it. I support all the things that he does off the field in regards to fighting for social justice. I will always question why at this point he still wants to be a part of the league. 9 years he has not played. Yes, he had a workout that he canceled in 2019. Yes, he worked out had a workout with the Raiders in 2022. Last year, he was offered a coaching position under Harbaugh that he declined. He didn't want to coach. At this point, I just feel like we should turn the page. Fair or not fair, I'm not saying that. We should turn the page when it comes to the Kaepernick conversation and applaud the things that he is doing off the field in regards to social justice. It's not fair.
Boy, they kept going. But I just wanted the conversation and the table to be set that the Phillip Rivers conversation ignited the Colin Kaepernick conversation out there. Now, there were a few, that's Rachel Lindsay, that's she's on the podcast on The Ringer, as you guys know, shout out, because you're like, who's that woman, right? Here's the thing. Look, a few things she said that not exactly accurate. We know that he took the knee. He didn't win. They settled. So in a settlement, both sides can say they won. Both sides can say they lost. Both sides have to give a little to get. But long story short, I think the win, if you want to say explicitly what's the win would have been in court, Diddy trial. You got Roger Goodell up there getting deposed, having to testify. That would have been a win if you get a judgment and you get all of those details out. So a settlement, let's be careful of saying that's a win. But what she talked about is also Colin Kaepernick didn't, through some of the moves he made, including didn't want to come coach the Chargers, right? Some of the moves he made, the workout, some of the moves he made, not to rehash everything, but it said loudly that he didn't really want to play, or that's not the road that people who really want to play take. Maybe he was trying to carve another lane. But you don't settle, you don't sue the NFL and settle with the NFL and then say, I want to still play. Typically, right? But could happen. But then when they give you a workout, you don't show up. It can happen. That's all I want to say about that. But why the Phillip Rivers connection? Because he's 44. He comes off the couch, grandpa. And I told you he was going to look okay to good. I knew he wasn't going to play bad. And he didn't. He just looked okay to good. Because a statue quarterback who still got a processor is going to be all right. The football game at quarterback position is played from the neck up. And I don't care how old he get until he's like 70-something, he fine. Now, he can't take the physical part, but mentally, yeah, come on. So this is not really a fair comparison. Somebody who has had their way, and this is the realest, rawest way to say it. Let's not compare what Colin Kaepernick did or is to Phillip Rivers. Is Colin Kaepernick a Hall of Famer in the future? No. Is Phillip Rivers? Probably. They're not even the same quarterback. 2, if you want somebody who's been away from the game, would you rather get a mobile quarterback or a statue? Statue. Because the mobile quarterback loses his legs while he's still playing, let alone retired. So this conversation, I hate when we get to the laziest element of like the racial element and component. I'm like, you're skipping steps. They ain't the same. Now, Kaepernick's younger, but what does younger have to do with it when you can't move the same? And you need to move. He don't need to move. It's crazy. And people have you walking around thinking discrimination or race when it's like, nah, they not the same. And that's the craziest thing about this world. This is why I don't get into the race conversations usually, and people be getting mad at me. I'm like, get mad. I don't care, because you're not thinking. It ain't my fault that you're not a critical thinker. Look, we're all uniquely the same. That means we're different, but we're the same. And no two people, no two situations can you say, Marcellus, they didn't let Marcellus go back and play, but they gonna go, what, a white DN. They went and grabbed Vrabel. Why is Vrabel coaching and Marcellus ain't coaching? Let's start here. I don't want to coach. And this is the problem when they always say that, it ain't enough. Because it ain't enough people that want to do it. The line ain't around the corner like you think. Okay? Let's just be real. Stop. I know these cats. And I'm like, dog, you didn't want to coach. Getting in that line all late. You know that white dude was in that line like 8 years before you? He gonna be in front of you. Oh, they let Sean McVay be. Did you do what Sean McVay did? Did you? Did you eat Cheetos for Thanksgiving dinner? Did you? And it ain't black people don't. It's just how many do. It almost like it takes a critical mass of anything for somebody to break through. From my background, Compton, Columbia, you know how many cats tried and gave me courage and gave me insight, but they didn't get there, but they built the critical mass, and then finally, pow, I popped through. Come on, y'all. It ain't always that lazy and simple. God dang. All right. We got some good topics coming up still. We still got a little time. Adam Silver. Uh-oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Of course, I've been watching it. By the way, in all honesty, I love the chemistry of you guys. I mean, obviously why you did so well in a team sport. I mean, the chemistry is fantastic. And I also just say quickly, as a fan, I think you do a great job educating, other fans about the game, because that, I would say, has frustrated me in the past about some coverage when it's sort of reduced to one side wanted it more, or this side played harder. I mean, when you guys are explaining, like, why can't a guy get a shot off? Why is a particular defense working? I think the studio you guys built is off the charts, and I think the technology you're using, and when you guys go out on the floor and demonstrate things, I can say as a fan, I love that part of the coverage. Of course.
Blah, blah, blah. So they're making a little noise about that, and the reason they're making noise about that is because it sounds in stark contrast. You have the commissioner saying, I really like what you guys are doing. You guys are really educating the fans. You guys are doing it the right way. We're happy and all that stuff. And then you hear this. You hear this.
Number one, I think the cup thing is somewhat embarrassing. What I mean by that is I'm disappointed in my players that we're having, number one, God bless them for making money, okay? I'm disappointed that we have to make an in-season tournament to make these guys more money so they won't do load management. Yeah. So these guys, God bless them, making a lot of money. I never begrudged them because I didn't make it what they're making, but I made a great living. But to have to pay these guys extra money to make them play other games, they should play basketball because they're well compensated to play basketball. To do an in-season tournament to make them extra money, come on, man. That's a little bit ridiculous.
Blah, blah, blah. He kept going, he kept digging, kept going there. But we know where the NBA and the commissioner, Adam Silver, they're leaning and they're starting to get a little fatigued of how they're being covered. And it's interesting. I think the NBA has a proper gripe with inside the NBA, the show, but more importantly, just how the NBA is covered. Like, it is a real low-hanging fruit narrative to just say the NBA sucks. All they do is shoot threes. Oh, this ain't the good brand of basketball. And then when they do something that actually works, be real. The NBA Cup was a roll of the dice, and that sucker working. We watched it last night. I don't know the ratings, but the ratings are up for it year over year, 25%. We'll see what the championship game did, right? Kind of wild. And people are like, yeah, whatever. No. Give them credit when credit is due. So it's kind of tough when you constantly have your product getting slandered or criticized versus you got a show like that now. I mean, seriously, I was watching the pregame. Taylor Rooks passing the mic to everybody, and I don't think it's the most entertaining show because, Steve Nash in there, he trying to nerd it out. Dirk in there just chilling. Blake in there really upping it, and OG, Udonis, he funny. He just be all over. So it's a good show, but it really is educational. Like, it really is helping you here. And it goes there. Now, you want to talk about going there? Oh, wow. Look, the NBA Cup ratings are up 90% from last year. That's amazing. That's sick. I saw 25% year over year. I didn't see last night's. I think you got to give credit where credit's due. Let's not be stuck in the past like everybody. Well, a couple more topics stuck in the past. Speaking of that, y'all want to know how coaches used to get down? This is how I used to see it.
He is a running back first, so this is a good hit by Ellis onto the sideline, all right? He is not looking, all right, to go down and get into the slide. So we got to go out ahead, fellas, all right?
The quarterback is a very competitive dual threat guy, okay? He will try to run the ball like a running back. He will try to run you over. He will try to stiff arm. He doesn't really run out of bounds. He doesn't slide a whole bunch, okay? We can get the ball off of him. The ball is life, it is air, and we need it.
Blah, blah, blah. Hey, so for all y'all out there that love Jackson Dart, protect Jackson Dart, tell Jackson Dart to protect himself. They coming for you. That is our code. When they say he is a quarterback playing like a running back, we about to light his ass up. Because he trying to get that extra yard, And we going to test if he got 9 lives, right? We're going to try and take all 9 with 1 hit. And Jackson Dart has been in that blue tent. I've seen him play like 3 games. I've seen him in the tent 10 times. Like, what are you doing? It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, tough guy. Come on, man. Let's see what it's about. So I want y'all to see this last story. We're going to get out of here. This is interesting. What time is it? Oh, it's 6:30. I got to be nice. I got to get out of this. I got to get nice. I got to do this. I'm going to skip one. There's a great story, but I know I'll go too long. Did y'all catch this? Let's go back to that NBA thing. Did y'all catch this? Watch right here. Are you serious? All I'm going to say, in sports, we are funny. In locker rooms, I ain't going to lie, it get a little fruity. It just be some fruity pebbles in the locker room. And I'm not going to lie, it ain't even about sex or orientation. It's just too many dudes, and they get bored, and they do dumb And if you ever been in a locker room, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you're like, what? Like, we just do stuff. We like kids, like boys. We revert back to childhood when you did that and you didn't even care about nothing. Before you had the tingle, before things happened, you just was doing it. Now, you do. He on the NBA Cup stage, and he like, here you go. Free. I know. I have no logical explanation. I have been the victim, and I've been the villain. I mess with cats, right? I've done it. I don't know why either. Oh, man. I don't remember the last time either. Because once you get out of the locker room, that don't fly. That does not fly. Just the way it goes. Okay, last one here. Bar for bar. Bar for bar. Bar for bar. Y'all know how we end on this show. Who's the best rapper? Bar for bar. Be real. Oh, God, this hurts. Let's start here. Let's start with LL Cool J. It's hard as anybody. I don't care. I got to tell y'all my Fresh Fest story. I'm 11 years old. I went to Long Beach Arena. LL came out. It was dark. There was a 10-foot radio. No, probably higher than that. And he just opened up the drapes. All you saw was this big-ass radio. I mean, huge. And he said, Bucks. My radio, believe me, I like it loud. Oh, God. Before they start shooting and stabbing and throwing fire extinguishers from the 3rd story, it was an amazing concert. Y'all know Andre 3000, my favorite rapper. Remember me from school? No, not really, but he kept smiling like a clown, facial expression looking silly, and he kept asking me. Come on. Q, come on, man. Here's a little something about like me. Never been out the penitentiary. Oh, come on, man. And this, Rakim, I say, oh, follow the leader into a solo, get in the float. You can picture like a photo. What? There's no loser here. But I have to say it. God dang. LL's out just because he came first, and that was more of rudimentary, what did I say? Elementary. That was just a simpler style. So, not saying he can't go, because I still see him on podcasts just, oh my God, dang. It's just you can't win this battle right here. Now, I text this girl who I used to see. Let me see. She's just bar for bar. Andre's not a bar for bar guy. He's a concept. He's taking those bars to build you to a concept to take you out this world. So I'm going to eliminate my favorite rapper. That lets you know I'm not biased. We down here. Cube is a storyteller. He ain't trying to hit you with all punchlines and all that stuff. But them stories are insane. Once upon a time in the projects, yeah, I damn near had to. Oh, man. I can't. Jagged for Beats? Oh, God. It's Rakim, of course. Rakim is not mortal. Like, rapping-wise, I was a fiend before I became a teen. I used to melt the cones instead. What do you say? Melt the microphones instead of cones, and ice cream music orientated because of hip hop was originated. Did it like pieces and puzzles. Complicated. Jesus. I saw I'm gonna get off on this. I saw Rakim a month ago. Shout out to Ben Horowitz, Andreessen Horowitz, Ben Horowitz, Columbia alum, my dog, my homie. Has this huge event, Paid in Full Foundation. They give back big stipends to rappers in the past because they didn't get all the money and all the glory and all the love they should have back then. So Rakim was a recipient last year or 2 years ago. So he performed. This year he opens it up. Let me tell y'all, for real, 40 minutes, maybe 30, 40 minutes, Rakim just going. Every song. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Life. All right, y'all. So have a great one, man. Beat it up in the comments. Y'all know what we're going to do. Tomorrow is what? Thursday? Yeah, we're going to do one tomorrow. And then we got On the Rocks. We're going to do On the Rocks live at 10 a.m. That's the goal. So look out for those notifications. And let's have a beautiful day, everybody. Oh, shit. All right, somebody, my favorite comment ever. I got to go on this. Snippets. Yes. He said Ice Cube grand finale verse on the DOC album. Ice Cube went, that shit. What was it? How did it start off? Oh, God, I got to get the first word. I'll come back next time. We get after it. Peace.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I believe the verse. Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.
Boy,